What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Sorry about that. I was having technical difficulties because I'm using a different stream and there was something wrong with my camera. So I'm using the webcam. So it's a little lighting isn't the best. Um, but we're going to get to the point. So drop in the chat. Just let me know like where you're from, where you're at, what you're doing, what city, what state, what country you're from. Right now, we're live in Rio de Janeiro right now. So I just wanted to make this live real quick and just talk to you guys. Excuse me. Excuse me. Simply about the power I know. And the reason why I was supposed to do this live stream the other day, but I wasn't able to do it. I just was in a bad service area. So please forgive me for that. So without further ado, why you need to say no more often. And this is very telling. And the reason why I say this is because I think a lot of people agree to things, they do things that they really don't want to do, and therefore they get burnt out. They get burnt out. They wind up wasting a lot of time. They wind up actually, really spreading themselves thin. So I kind of want to go through 5 reasons why you should say no more often. I'm gonna tell you this, and this is something that I personally do. One is you got to protect your personal boundaries. Because when you say yes, or you think you're being nice, you're saying yes to stuff, people will start taking advantage of your time. Some purposely, some non-purposely. So, and what I mean by that, for instance, like one of the things I do now is I always keep my phone off. And me, I have 2 phones. So I have two iPhones right here. And both of these are usually 9 times out of 10 are always on do not disturb. One of them actually don't have any alerts on. So whenever I check it, I check it. And I noticed when I did this, I was able to focus a lot more. I got a lot more things done a lot faster. And what I realized is like most of the stuff that people reach out to you about, it's mostly just BS. Like it's a complete waste of time. So you really want to value your time because if you don't value your time, no one else is. You got to really set your standard and value your time. And that's very important because no one's people are a reflection. The way people treat you is a reflection of how you treat yourself. So if you don't value yourself or value your time, they're gonna they're gonna take it for granted. They're gonna feel like they can do whatever they want. They're gonna feel like they're entitled. Like I said, some people do this purposely, some people do this not purposely, right? So you definitely need to do that to set up personal boundaries. And one of the things I stopped doing is, and this is like no shot or no shade, like I visit my family like all the time. I lost count of how many times I've actually visited. I probably actually have a tally of it, but I could probably count on literally like one, maybe 2 hands how many times they have actually visited me, in my whole adult life. And at a certain point, I was like, okay, which is cool. I love going home. I love seeing the family. But at a certain point, it was really like, it was kind of, it's basically, why am I always going out of my way when it's not reciprocated? And so one of the things, especially now at the point I'm at in my life, is just, you know, uh, you want to come see me. Like I'm not like it's got to be reciprocal, and that's what I'm with everybody. Like I'm reciprocal. If I see they're making an effort, I'm gonna make an effort, and I'm gonna make an effort first. I'm very reciprocal. That's why I have really good people in my life. I have really good people. But if it's not reciprocated to me, I'm just not gonna fall back. Like for instance, there probably if I didn't go see some of these people, I don't think I'd hardly ever see them. And I'm starting to notice that over the past this year, because this year I've really just focused more so on what the priority is in my life, what the priority is in my personal goals, which I've always had, but this is a whole new level that I've been able to take it at, and just what the level that I really want to do and really put everything into me and not like spread myself thin. And I noticed I've gotten more done in the past couple months, personal, professionally, everything that I wanted to do than I've probably had in the past maybe like 5 years. And I've made progress in the past 5 years, but this year has just been like on a rocket ship. And you got to get to a point to where you have to do that because you can't keep spreading yourself thin. People will take advantage of that, even if they do it unintentionally, because then you're just an expectation. If you're, let's like I said, for my instance, so I come this time. I'm expected to come all these different times. But when I pull back, it looks like, oh, I'm changing. No, it's just that you get tired of fucking get taken advantage of. And that's the same thing as with a lot of people. Like I had a friend before who was really nice, really nice. She was very, very nice, too nice to people. And the people who were nice to her, they reciprocated, but I also saw she would get ran over a lot. Like people would take advantage of her being nice, like all the time. You could do a little more work. They knew she would give an extra effort. They knew she would actually make that next leap. She would take time out of her day for somebody, even to her detriment, which is one thing I don't suggest you doing. Look, at the end of the day, the priority is me first because everything else, if I take care of me, I know I can take care of everybody else. So you got to say no. You got to take care of you first because nobody's going to put you first in their book. And if they do, you probably have like one or two people in your life that do that. If you do have that, then you're already ahead of the game. And kudos to you. You're doing everything right. Keep them close, right? Okay. Two, you avoid burnout. Now, one of the things that happened to me is when I first started, the first company I started, I was doing like everything. And it got to a point where I didn't realize I was working way too much and it was starting my actual productivity started to go down. So I was doing all these things, but it's like small wins. Win here, win there, win here, win there, win here, win there, win here, win there, win here. And it was like that, as opposed to just focusing and dialing in on one or two specific things, and it would just go a lot faster. So you don't want to do burnout. It's one of the things that I personally, I intentionally make sure I sleep. I intentionally make sure I take breaks. I intentionally don't answer my phone, and it's nothing personal. It's just that I need to be able to focus. I like my alone time, and I do like, I'm very social, but I do make time for myself. I take specific trips specifically every quarter, sometimes every other month, because that's something that I like to do to avoid burnout. Because you need a reset. Like everybody needs a reset. Because you get in this, as Napoleon Hill would say in his book Outwitting the Devil, this hypnotic rhythm, and a lot of people live in this hypnotic rhythm, and they don't even see it. You don't see it unless you're crazy. But that's one book I would highly recommend a lot of you actually check out. Outwitting the Devil. Three, maintaining focus on priorities. Like I'm gonna show you something real quick. Let me turn this off because I get a lot of texts. Way too many. So in my notebook right here, I have specific priorities. And really the way I live my life now, and this is something I would highly suggest you do, and most people don't, and this is why they don't actually hit their goals, is everything that I'm working towards right now, if the if the conversation or the phone call doesn't really lead to that, I don't engage in it. If my actions of the day don't lead to the outcome that I want for any of these specific goals or destinations, I don't engage in it. I don't even engage in small talk anymore, which I'm really good at speaking, but I just don't do it. It's a waste of my time. And I understand that we have finite time is finite. So I would rather not waste it on stuff that doesn't interest me or doesn't benefit me in any way, or just it's just a waste of time. So what you really want to do is the way you maintain on your priority or maintain your focus on your priorities is you need to really track, and you need to do this first because it's going to be hard if you're not in the habit of doing this already. You're going to have to actually track what you're doing, and what I mean by that is you're going to actually have to write down everything you do throughout the day, and all those things need to be leading you in the direction that you want to go. And if they're not, let's say most, like 90% of it's not, you're gonna have to change your whole entire life, and it's going to be an adjustment period. But in order to get to where you want to go, you're going to have to adjust that. Like for instance, right now I have a couple channels on YouTube. I do a lot of work, but I've had to actually switch my life in order to go in the direction that I want to do right now. And a lot of things that I probably did 3 months ago, I can't do anymore because I'm in a whole different direction. I'm moving at a whole different pace. I'm living a whole completely different life. And that's kind of where it's at. So definitely want to do that. Encouraging others' independence. So when you say no, it's more self-reliant to solve their own problems. And what I mean by that is, so let's say someone asks you, "Hey, um, can you do this for me?" And let's say it's like it's something like where you're overextending yourself. Then you have to say no. Now, if you're in a position where you can help people and it's genuine and you're not worried about them reciprocating, then that's fine. I would never suggest that because I like helping people and I don't ask for anything back. It's just because, it's just putting good karma out there, which always comes back. But if you can't actually do it, then you need to actually focus on, you need to say no. You need to say no, no, no. And the more you say it, the easier it gets. Like, I just reject everything that just does is non-beneficial to me. But like I said, I love helping people. I love helping, especially if I can do it. But at specific times, I may be working on something else. I can't do it. Like, I just can't. It's just sorry. It's not even sorry. It's just that this is my focus, and this is where I'm at. And people who are actually, what you'll notice is people who are actually on the same wavelength as you, as far as being, focused, highly focused, and highly intentional. You could reject them and they'll actually not get offended because they understand, okay, he's really focused on what he's doing. We could connect another time, or vice versa. The people who actually get offended by that are people who are not focused on what they're doing, or just engage in a lot of distraction, right? So number five is, you can enhance your self-respect and confidence. When you say no, it's actually bringing your power back to you. So words are very powerful. That's why it's called spelling. It spells. So what you're casting when you say no is power back. When you're able to say no, rejection, it's actually, and not just rejection, but saying no, being able to, like, I'm not interested in this right now. It gives you a sense of power. It gives you a sense of power back. And that's what you really want. So I just want to do this live stream real quick, live in Rio de Janeiro right now. I'm moving around the world actually the past like 2 weeks. So hope you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Remember, if you want the webinar replay of the Business Builder Legacy Lasting Blueprint, wholesale auction properties, it's going to be in the chat. It's on sale right now. So definitely get that if you want to flip auction properties from home or wherever you're at in the world, like I'm doing now. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.